I live at 11916 Northwest 136th Circle in Piedmont. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And he described Satan as a murderer from the beginning, the father of lies. Today we're swimming in a sea of lies. The virus kills everyone who catches it. Masks protect you from it. The shots will last for years. The inoculations and boosters are as safe as those of the past.
Does he have to keep coughing?
All
please?
lies. What is the truth? The death rate from the virus is a fraction of a percent. It's a manufactured virus, highly contagious.
Oh my
and
God. So there's a COVID guy. What I love is like, it's like the perfect straw man argument. Like, nobody says any of these things. Nobody says any of these things about the virus, like about masks, about vaccines. Like, none of that has ever been said. I mean, you literally just sat there and fucking watched a presentation by the health department. At no point do you say getting the vaccine will prevent COVID, that everyone dies from it. None of that is true. But of course, he just gets up and then, says his truth, as Councilwoman Nice so diplomatically put it, and then coughs with COVID.
In my lifetime, I have heard the fear tactics from the authoritarians in our government scaring us about the coming ice age, global warming. Both have been completely disproved, but you'll never hear that from our bureaucrats and politicians. In my life,
what I love is like the idea that like scientists are like elected or something, that like all these guys cranking out study after study of ice cores and, however they're coming up with like ways to prove carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere is reaching historic highs, that they're like somehow elected or government bureaucrats. I mean, it is so delusional. And of course, the fact that like Exxon and all these oil and gas companies like did their own studies and know very much that they were contributing to the thing. But don't let facts get in your way there.
29 trillion masks that are thrown on the ground, put in a trash can, or maybe end up in the ocean. There was a picture of them, of the world being covered with masks.
Somebody should tell this lady about single-use plastic. I also do some waste recycling work, and can tell you some really serious stuff about how little gets recycled and how much ends up in the trash. All right, let's look at this guy.
The vaccine, for example. But people need to understand, and this is basic health, this is not being an expert on it, that the vaccine merely encourages your immune system to develop a resistance.
I mean, okay.
And
you can't. Oh, God.
Can you hear me? Oh, I need to speak my name. First, my name is Paula Trowbridge, and I live at 4021 Bar Harbor Circle in Yukon. I live in Ward 1. And I made this
You can't have a
chart
Yukon address and live in
which shows
Oklahoma
the
City.
size of the virus, which is 125 nanometers, which is 0.50492 of an inch. And then the size of the pores of an N95 mask, which can stop up to 300 nanometer
Yeah, this
particles.
is rough. This is rough
which
content. This is rough listening to.
2.4 times the size of the COVID-19 virus. So therefore, it shows that masks are ineffective at stopping the virus. And then I also wanted to
Checkmate, scientists. Checkmate.
show you some information.
I drew this thing on poster board.
This is a mask that a lot of people wear. They get them at churches or hospitals. And the warning on this says, this product is not a respirator and will not provide any protection against COVID-19 virus or other virus or contaminants. And this one is
I mean, what's funny about it is like, one, I mean, obviously there's sorry, I'm gonna like all of JB's tweets since I borrowed them for the stream here. I mean, obviously it's like nobody's saying that the masks block the virus itself, but it does prevent the droplets that carry the virus from getting all over everyone. If you've ever been spit on when somebody's talking to you or in your face. And like I keep making this point too, even if we say, okay, masks are, let's pick an arbitrary number, 10% effective. They're not very effective. 10% of, 300 people in the hospital is 30 people not in the hospital. So, I mean, like, you can just do some simple math here. We've had 9,000 people die of COVID in Oklahoma. 10% is 900. Like, that's a more than zero number. And for the small amount of time, most people honestly have to wear masks outside their home and in congregate settings, except for, of course, frontline workers who diligently wear their mask every freaking day. I mean, it's just not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, I mean, this is all just ripped, straight from right-wing propaganda. I mean, it's like they just find... it's just like, it's almost like a virus in the sense that it's like they just find like optimized content that like people can remember really easily. Some dumbass can draw on a, poster board and then just repeat it over and over and over. And yeah, that's how propaganda works. It's easy to remember, replicates fast, and people say it over and over and over. And so like, and unfortunately, like scientific studies or lots of charts and graphs and all that, it doesn't replicate as easily. And I do kind of think that's a big failure of, I think the presentation, other than their technical glitches, was fine. But I do think it's a big failure of our public health infrastructure that they haven't just won the messaging war, we did a goofy Mask Up OKC commercial. We should have been hustling that a lot harder, apparently, because the opposite side has obviously beaten us badly at it. So NonDoc did a great write-up on it. So the way the final vote went down, Holt voted in favor, 5 voted against. Had the ordinance passed 5-4, then 7 council members would have been needed to approve the emergency declaration, which is what happened last year. 3 voted against it, but then Todd Stone switched his vote once it passed because he was like, I'll do what the will of the council is. This time, though, both Stonecipher and Greenwell voted against it, and it's purely out of fear of this mob. Because last year, they both made the case. Like, hell, Greenwell's still wearing a mask in person, and I'm positive he got vaccinated. So it shows that, like, they're scared. Like, they obviously take the virus seriously on some level, but they're just cowards. That's all it comes down to, is they're scared of this unhinged mob that has no, it's just the dumbest people in our society, and they're just going to go along with them. That's just all it comes down to. They are scared of the loud, angry people. And at times, Holt had to call up the police because guess what? It's now illegal to shut down a city council meeting with a protest. So... And what's insane is they knew this was going to fail. Holt was telling the news 3 days ago this was going to fail. So it's like these people are mad about oppression that isn't even happening.